I'm gonna pass these out, but the first thing I'm gonna do is introduce Trent, and I didn't do this last time, but I think this will help set the stage very quickly, just to review what the mission statement is. The Pickaway Pathways program focuses on providing youth a creative learning placement to focus on academic and social and emotional skills in a modified learning placement, providing the skills needed to succeed in life. Okay, and his application is for the culinary program. So I'm gonna pass these out.
I have 7 minutes, right?
7 minutes.
Okay. And starting now?
He's ready.
Go for it, Trent.
It's like a race, huh? Okay. First of all, thank you for having me here, but we serve students from all 4 Pickaway County schools and Amanda Clear Creek. Also, Zane Trace has shown interest for next year. What we try to do, we have kids that have all kinds of different issues, mental health issues, substance abuse issues. We have teen moms that just can't, their schedule won't allow them to go to regular school, so we adjust all their schedules to meet the needs of the students. Most of them are what you would call kids that live in poverty. There's only maybe, out of the 61 students, maybe 2 that wouldn't fit that category. But what we try to do is make a creative, engaging learning experience for the students. So we focus, so we have counselors to do counseling for mental health. A kid can't really do English or math if they have depression and substance abuse problems, so we try to address that. These kids have awful home lives, so they don't learn how to do laundry, cook, take care of themselves at all. So that's what we want to do with this is we have a lady that comes in that does culinary. This year we had a South Central Power grant to do it, but South Central won't repeat grants, so we have to go a different route. Another obstacle we had this year, the kitchen at Mountain Street didn't pass fire code, and Pickaway Ross owns a building, they won't fix it. So we've been using like hot plates and stuff, which is kind of good, but we want to be able to use the oven. So it's $1,100 to get it back to fire code. So that's what we would want to use at least $1,100 for, is to make the kitchen usable again. So the kids can actually learn how to use a stove and an oven instead of a hot plate and a microwave, which is good too. I mean, we want both skills, but the program's been around for 5 years, and every year it's grown. We started with 30, and like I said, this year I said 61. We have 64 students right now. But we do cooking, we have art therapy, OSU Extension comes in. I try to make it as wrap around services as I can, because these kids, if you meet them, I don't know how to explain it, but they can't function in a normal school. They just can't. It's the reason that we adjust their schedule, so they only go about 3 hours a day, which if you take out study hall, lunch, and all the other nonsense programs at the school, that's not bad. And that's about what they can handle. It's about 3 hours a day. And we try to help them get jobs. So Ohio Means Jobs comes in and works with them. So we want them to go to school for 3 hours and then go to work. Because a lot of these kids, their families have not taught them how to work. Or a lot of them think, we get paid on the first of the month. And I'm like, not everyone gets paid on the first of the month. So we're trying to break that cycle. But we have her name's Sherry Bowers that comes in. They own the apple orchard in Lauraville. She's the one that comes in and cooks with the kids. She does a really good job. She teaches them like maybe how to make little sandwiches, so they could make something if they're at home and no one's there to cook for them. But she also teaches them how to like table manners and stuff that we try to teach them things that they're not going to learn at home. And the students are very receptive to this. They enjoy it. Am I close? Because I know it's going to be 7 minutes. Okay. So it's just this program. We've been doing it before the arts committee.
Arts around.
Yes, they did it, and then they just all of a sudden couldn't do it anymore. But they actually funded the whole program. So then we last minute got the South Central grant, power grant. But next year we're going to be looking again. So that's why we've asked you guys to graciously help us continue this program. And Like I said, get the kitchen going. Pickaway Ross wants to sell that building. The mayor has showed interest in buying it for the city and allowing us to have programs there because we do so much for the kids. Because we have integrated services, PARs, a lot of counseling services that come in to work with kids. That building is on the side of town that needs the most help. And it's a walking distance for the kids that need to get there from Circleville. So I think it's in a very good location to have a service center for families and kids. And then eventually we would like to, we've already talked to the health department, once we teach these kids to do the cooking skills, we want to give them serve safe certification, which they could go get a job at any restaurant if they had that. It's going to save the employer a lot of time and money. And then we also want to do maybe like a catering business type thing for the kids. It wouldn't be a profit, it would be to maintain the program. So if we can get started, eventually we could be self-supportive, is our hopes. But we gotta get the kitchen back to fire code before we can do any of that. The health department will not let us do anything until we get it back to code. So do I ask questions?
Yes, so if you're finished, we can start the question.
Maybe I'll start, of the 64, how's that